Good morning, kids. We'll wait for everybody to come on board and join in and say hi, but it's Sunday morning. You're in Brian's kitchen, someplace that maybe you haven't been in a while. I feel like I haven't been here in a while. Good morning, Sovereign. Good morning, Jason. Hope you're all doing well this morning. John, I'm cooking breakfast. Right, it's Sunday morning. We're dealing with a lot of things in the world. And for me, my morning meditation has been on my work in the homeless community. So I'm making breakfast, as many people do on Sunday mornings or on any given day of the week when they're housed and they have a physical structure or roof over their head. And as I'm getting a couple things going, I wanted to share. So I'll go to the StreamYards app here, which I'm using this morning. And let's see if we can get this share screen function going. Good morning, Renee. So we want the tab here. So I haven't seen this video yet. Good morning, everybody. I'm changing screens. I can't see the chat for a minute. Got to keep up with 2 or 3 things all at once. We're going McDonald's style here. Good morning, Jason. I don't know what's going on there, Renee, and I don't know anybody if you heard me the whole time or not. That was really weird. Basically, what I got going on here is a process of cooking, which I should have stayed focused on instead of worrying about you people. But sometimes I like to add people to the conversation. So I was reading an article there I don't know if you got to see it. It was from the Denver channel on a mock homeless camp on 16th of Ogden. And we're going to drive by that probably later today and go take a look at it. Maybe between Cats Not Cops, maybe between at the end of Cats Not Cops, maybe even on the way to downtown. I haven't quite decided yet. But what I am doing here is cutting up some cheese. So we not only cut the plastic, but we'll cut the cheese. We'll cut the rug too, if you were around last week. Jokes. All my people have jokes, and that's the beautiful thing about them, because jokes offer laughter and love. And what I'm attempting to do today is to make cheese sandwiches for everybody with eggs. So we're gonna pop that around. Gotta get the other bucket out. Whoa! Pop. I guess it's time to rotate, huh? Towel. Down. Okay. So, nothing like cutting the cheese. Ha! That's funny. You told a joke. Live on my channel. This has been a challenge lately. The Reddit jokes. Open a joke, read it out loud to a bunch of people without scanning it first. That's a challenge you don't want to take, let me tell you. So what we have here, keep the wet away from the plastic, keep the knives. Nah, we're okay. We don't want to hurt nobody today. Ever, actually. We're not in this game to hurt people. And that's kind of why I decided to go live this morning. Because I wanted to talk about some struggles that I've been having. One of them is finding a place to come back in and stay communicating with all of you all. So, One Hot KL, Chris White. Chris White, I keep not remembering if I asked this. Do I know you as a Peoria resident for a period of time? Use scissors instead. Keep the knives. Keep this. Oh, Nightbot. Uh-oh's Nightbot. Oh, that's fun. I got a bot telling jokes on my stream now. So here's what's going on. I was trying to focus on things. As I'm taking a shower today, for some reason I kept hearing the chant, who do you protect? Who do you serve? And I got to thinking about how I am serving a God of my understanding this morning as I make biscuits and egg and cheese sandwiches for those who have disadvantages greater than mine. Biscuits on the tray are a little sticky right now. And I want all of our community to do that, right? I hope that everybody that I know that I'm in deep with is focused on changing the world around them. I want you to change the world in ways that impact society. So I want to talk about this for a second, because how do we impact societies? What does our protest do as a measure of the change in time and society's response to things? It's setting the norm, I guess, is what I'm trying to talk about. Setting the norm. 8 years ago, maybe 10, a new norm was set in Colorado by making it illegal to cover yourself with a blanket, right? We have made it a new norm to not have access to clean drinking water. A Chinese, or maybe it was a Japanese artist. Oh, that's what I wanted to show you. Let's Google some stuff today. And really, I mean DuckDuckGo, but I don't have DuckDuckGo on my camera right now. So, oh, look at that. Here we go. This is what I want you all to see. And I'm hoping that it comes up as a video. Da, 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 da. So, we're going to listen to National Public Radio for a moment this morning, you and I, as we normalize changes in our society that we want to see. And I'm going to introduce you to a new type of toilet. And let's see if I can find the audio on this. Dang it. Things are just taking too long to load. Too tall. We're all in this together, I think, included me. What? Renee, you may not serve a God. That's your decision, right? Yeah, isn't this fun? That's a great shirt. I'm very happy about it. Thank you, word them up. But a God of my understanding is how I get through the day, right? So if you don't get through the day with a God of your understanding, that's okay. You don't have to. It seems, though, that I keep pulling up these files for stuff that's not audio. So I'm trying to pull up an audio file or a video file for you all to see. And I think I finally found it from our trusted friends at CNN, Real News Networks. And of course, if you don't know, I'm frying eggs over here. McDonald's assembly line, potentially, but not as much there. I mean, not as efficient. Here we go. Let's see. Is this slideshow? Not. All right. Screw you people. Just sharing it. Getting ready to go to church this morning, one hot gal. That's good. I also am getting ready to go to church. I'm going to feed the homeless, the unhoused, those who need a little hope in the world. Fortunately for me, I get to do that in the outdoors. Although some winter days, I wish we were doing it on the indoors. Anyway, this is CNN travel article. Oh, there it is. Well, that's a 3-second video. What? Let's see what happens. This toilet me? Can you hear me? It's the weirdest thing. I don't know what's going on. I share a tab and then it goes away. I share a tab and then you go black. It's just the craziest thing. Okay. Yeah, I know, right? That's too tall. It's really weird. But what we've got going on here this morning, just in case you were wondering, that's egg and cheese and biscuit. That's just a little love for somebody today. We're hoping it turns out to be a love for people to enjoy. I might have to eat one along the way, of course, because no good chef knows their work by sight alone. Just more efforts to feed the homeless in the community here, right? Anyway. Uncle Samuel on the weeks. Look, I think that a history forgotten is repeated. And it seems like our generational memories are getting to be smaller and smaller in time. Once it wasn't that long ago that we enjoyed public bathrooms, public houses, showers, toilets, the loo, right? It wasn't that long ago that the government in the state of Colorado built public buildings with outdoor water access. And we hyper concentrate on these needs with villages with a vengeance. Because we know that without sanitation in our system, we're lost, right? Without a way for the rats to stay at bay, we invite them in. This is a lesson here, folks. Without keeping the rats at bay, we invite them in. And I'm not looking to invite the rats in. My house is not to be a mouse house, right? I want to keep those things separate. The church and the state, separate, equal even, in some or many cases. All right. Oh, no. These are absolutely just for me. Good reminder, though. It is a good reminder. I'm eating cheese on the side. I'm not eating the things that... Oh well. Whatever. Thanks for the input. Let's focus on more delicate situations here, right? The fact that there are over 5,000 people sleeping outside right now, waking up. And in the city and county of Denver, often it feels like we're fighting this singularly. With that being said, to mean that, like, you don't feel like every city council is building AMI housing, right? Or that none of them are. We often get the vibe that that in our communities, the people who are the service industry workers, the ones who could provide the services, the housing for their income bracket isn't accountable and adjustable. And hey, Rob, thanks so much. We will give Janet a hug later for you. Glad to do that. Good morning, DC Larry. Yeah. So I want to encourage everybody. It's 8 o'clock. We got an hour and a half to get to the places where we need to be. To go check out some programs. One of those that's happening in Denver today is at the Fountain, and it's going to be doing every Sunday morning. There's a community that does water and trash cleanup. So they actually like fill up water buckets, stations, go out into the homeless encampments, provide people drinking water, and they then clean up trash, collect waste along the way, do little sanitation efforts. Right, this is Denver. Tomorrow at noon, there's a press conference with Denver Homeless Out Loud. I wanted to bring that up today. Sorry, the eggs are forever on my head, right? Gotta keep up with the rotation here. There was something else I wanted to talk to you about. Oh, how many of you have been keeping up with the drama in Madison, North Carolina? I am just overwhelmed still by the concerns of things that are going on there. Greetings, Barbara. The idea that they are lynching people in the streets of the United States of America is not new. Right? We've been broadcasting that for months through our friends throughout the Colorado protesting. But they're lynching white blind people. That, Larry Burnell, is what's messed up to me, right? This is when you really start to see the true colors of things, is that when you have a situation where those that we're supposed to be supporting in our community, because they have a right to do something, getting lynched, getting bounties put on their heads for their signage. I gotta say, NYC Tech and Hunter, all those that went out there to help support Blind Justice and Lady Justice, Mrs. Blind Justice, whatever. I think that's a big deal. I'm really grateful for Eric Brandt. Of course, he's willing to go wherever the Lord calls him. Might not be the Lord, though. And we can't necessarily say that we understand Eric's callings all the time. But at the end of the day, these things get done. So, verbal threats and minor assaults. Here's the deal. V7 Avalon. In Denver, we don't open carry, right? So when a journalist hires concealed carry. It's an escalation of tactics, right? So Eric Brandt always says that we're here for a word battle, right? They bring guns to a word fight. Why do they do that? They don't know how to not do that, I guess, is the answer. And so it's just a continuation of the same thing, right? Don't bring guns to a word fight. That's the message of the day. It's smoky up in here. So repent. Let's see. We found out recently that there's no women's shelters over and over again. Okay. A homeless resolution sales tax is on Denver's ballot. I don't know if you've heard this, but we're gonna tell you about some things as we keep moving through this process this morning of food rotation and eggs. So 2B is the ballot issue, and it's known as the Homeless Resolution Sales Tax. It's on the November ballot. City Councilwoman at Large Robin Kinich is urging business leaders to say yes to raising the sales tax to address homelessness and to help spread word about the proposal that Denver voters will find out on their November ballots. You can contribute, she said, and we'll talk to the voters at a downtown Denver partnership presentation. It's a homeless resolution sales tax that will provide a 0.25%, 2.5 cents on every $10 spent, taking the total sales tax from 8.31% to 8.56% starting in January. Kinich said Friday the measure would raise about $40 million a year, but is likely to do less because of the pandemic and slow recovery responses right now. Right? So that's an issue that we're going to have to figure out. How do we get our economy stimulated? Or so they say. I think the president is a good example today that you just can't win. It doesn't really matter what you do. Eventually, you run the risk of contracting corona or the flu if you run around without a mask. If you get tested on a daily, right? It's possible to get sick. And this is kind of one of those life lessons, right? If we look at our history lessons, some are always going to die. I'm not a proponent of eugenics, but the idea of breeding sickness out was something that has been talked about for hundreds of years. Traits, Hitler was all about it, right? The perfect societies of people. We don't have that, but we have a society that doesn't tend to the needs of those who are not perfectly fit, mentally stable, balanced in all things. And so we need things like this tax that I'm talking about, 2B, which would provide for more shelters. It would provide for more long-term permanent housing, hopefully. But let's remember that we had a different campaign a couple years ago. They spent $4 million on that to keep the status quo. Say we can do better, but we're not gonna. Such is the joy of our life. Take 50% of the police budget to the homeless. Yes. Well, no, that's not true. Misappropriated funds. That is definitely an issue that I want to talk about. Because it's not defunding the police, it's reallocating the funds away from the police to where they are appropriately utilized. And it seems like our government doesn't get this. I don't know if you heard, but they killed the zucchini because they need to put a fence up around a pedestal 90 days after the statue was taken down, right? Mind-blowing. They waited 3 months to do something. And that's the slow to respond methodologies of our government. And it's sad, but it's repetitive. And that's part of the message that we, the people, have to be on top of. So I'm going to end my message here. It's 8 o'clock in the morning, and I got to keep up with this. But I also, I'm just here to just to continue the message. They're not helping the homeless. That's true. We can do better. Or we can do things that would help the homeless if we tried. We can make it if we try. That sounds like some 80s song, right? All night. Oh, Lionel Richie's in my head right now. We got butter. We got ghee butter. We got eggs. We got biscuits. We got cheese. We're making up some sandwiches. $41,000 in federal grants. A year? A year? If there were $41,000 a year, I think we should take, I don't know, $38,000 in housing coverages. Nick, so here's the thing. Good job, Newfie. Here's the thing, Nick. It does take months. It takes years. It takes repetitiveness, right? Do you know that Denver Homeless Out Loud raised $20,000 for toilets? Right? It was in the budget last year. Is it in the budget this year? I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen at the Low press conference because I haven't had time to read their stuff yet. So I'm talking to you and I'm cooking breakfast. That's what's really going on. So, obviously not FAA watcher. So why are the homeless issues so hard to figure out? Why is it that if an unhoused person is worth $41,000 in federal grants, that getting them housed isn't $41,000 in federal grants? Where does the reduction, where does the change in finances happen? It's all about the taxes. Remember this. You, me, the taxes make three. No, it's a relationship between the governments, right? Why did Trump write off millions of dollars and only pay $750? Well, he paid more than $750. His corporations did, I'm sure. But then they got to reduce that in their other expenses, right? So if you pay taxes on parts, supplies, wages, right, you're still kicking in to the system, to the infrastructure. Happy Fuck the Cops Day. Good morning. Sean Shepard, FAA watcher, Rob C., the Redneck Rebel, all that shall rise again. it's not hard to figure out. They can weigh us out because we're only going to live 60, 70 years. Less if you're on the streets is statistically, the more time you live on the street, the less time you have to survive. There's a message in that. And there's a message in the timeline that it takes. Let's think about this. Why does it take 8 years? 5 years, 8 years, 8 years, 8 years to get into a house. That's a hard question. 8 years to get in the house from the city of Denver government. That's a statistic that we've found to be fairly accurate. 3 years on a waiting list is nothing anymore. But 8 years ago when I got here, 3 years was the standard. What happened in that timeline might have something to do with government accountability, with the mayor, with the battles that we've been facing in Colorado and in Denver, and in the idea that to have a say, you have to pay, right? The housing, the relationships that occurred in Denver over the years, they are definitely negative. They are definitely focused on developing a city not for the people who live here, but the ones that they want to attract to come here. That's always been the message. No, that's not true. Hancock once had a homeless in 10 years vision. So that didn't happen. I'm glad you caught your cat, Jason. Cat came back the very next day. No, seriously though, since we are talking about these issues, we have to recognize them for what they are. We have to recognize that in our imperfect efforts at this republic, we've created an oligarchy where corporations rule, and where the corporations actually in Colorado own all the land, right? Where something like 48% of all housing in the city and county of Denver is corporate rentals and not individually attainable owned housing. So that's a message that we love to share. Gotta keep up with all the rotations here. So when I lived in Janet's kitchen, I used to make breakfast like this for the boys. Sometimes it was Otto and Eric and Abity and Pikes and Defend and Jana and oh gosh, what cannot remember the other one. There's another Mike Pike's girlfriend, whose name is just slipping my head right now. I'm sorry. So making breakfast like this is just pretty good, fun. We'll employ the strategy. The preamble. Oh, we the people in an effort to form a more perfect union. That one. I should not have heard that in a while. Preamble to the Constitution. We the people of the United States. Yes, let's read that. Let's just read that. Boom. We're going to go deep. We're going to dig for it. We're going to read the preamble of the Constitution of the United States. Read along with. Let's see what happens. I know I can't share my screens, what you're looking at. You can only look at me today. I'm sorry for that. Let's see what happens.
The following program was produced by the United States Courts.
We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. Do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America.
Ooh. Can we do it again? We're going to do it again.
The following program was produced by the United States Courts.
We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. Do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America.
I get chills. Oh man, that's just such a beautiful wordage, right? Verbiage. To form a more perfect union, to establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. Do ordain and establish the Constitution of the United States of America. Ooh-wee. They got me jumping this morning. Why is it that we forget about things like domestic tranquility, general welfare, and the common defense? And what is the common defense, I must ask you? What is the common defense? I think that the common defense is the good of the populace, the benefit of our society, of the welfare of all, right? And so the common defense should be growth in medicine and sciences, all sciences need to be promoted. The STEMs are important. Let's not exclude anybody in that one there. Science is real. And so the common good, the general welfare, has to be scientific knowledge, right? The education of the people must be part of the general good. Now what I'm going to do? No, I think let's see, we're moving right along. I got time for another round of biscuits, I think. I have one more left in my fridge. Bless the maker. I think we're going to do another round of biscuits. So, folks, common does mean everybody. Sean Shepard. And listen, I I'm past the corporate heads of state, right? I'm beyond caring which oligarch corporate representative will preserve the powers be for those at the highest of puppet string holders. Forget Trump. Forget Biden. Do you know what's on your city ballot? Do you know what's on your state ballot? Those are bigger issues. In the state of Colorado, for example, they want to tell a woman what she can and cannot do with her body. Straight up going straight back to that methodologies again, right? The dark ages. It's not the general welfare of our society. We're all healthy decision making when it comes to the procreation of the next generation. If you want wealth accumulation, there must be some limiting in the generational population increases without planning. And that's pretty simply put that if you let the poorest of the race of the communities populate without check, you limit their resources and their abilities to generationally increase their wealth. So you provide medicine and care at the highest levels, but reduce its ability to be accessed at the lower. And what you do is you create a system that checks its population through wealth accumulation. That's the word I'm looking for. Checking the population through wealth accumulation. Oh, I gotta pop the other out. Does that make sense? Good morning, Morbid Angel. Again, I don't care about Biden and I don't care about Trump. Pence and Kamala Harris are important to me. But at the end of the day, they all represent the same hierarchy of insanity. There's no difference, no change. One beast or the other. That's my message this morning.
Hey, Brian.
Good morning, CJ. We are live. I'm having some conversations with people around the world about homelessness and poverty and the infrastructure of the system while I protect and serve my community through breakfast cooking.
Cool, man.
Yeah, how you doing this morning?
Oh, good.
Fantastic. Would you like a biscuit?
Yeah, I want a biscuit.
Have a biscuit.
Thanks.
There's honey or jam or peanut butter or Nutella if you want any of those.
How about some cheese?
Have at it.
Is this an American loaf?
This is a Bongards premium cheese.
It looks delicious.
It's the new version of government. You're welcome. So thank you. Denver Homeless Out Loud is something that we want to talk about. They're having a press conference tomorrow at noon. And I think we're going to make a laughing stock of the new homeless encampment vision presented by City Council. I'm pretty sure that's the goal, is to make a mockery of it and to show how it's not only inefficient but unrealistic. I'm not quite sure. That's why we're going to go look at them today. Maybe it's going to be really good. I haven't had a chance to find out. I'll be honest. We just don't know. We just don't know. How many of you went to a food bank this week? Did you give to those you need your time and energy? Get a blessing by the rewarded sharing of resources? I did. Most every week I've been doing that since COVID, but for sure. I found a place of home and community and resource sharing. And so yes, our bond guards. Good morning, Kenny. Repent America, Jason Gaudette, Morbid Angel, amazing, awesome nicety. That's how I read that name, by the way. Awesome, amazing, awesome nicety. I hope I'm getting it right now that I'm looking at it. Cooking up some egg and cheese biscuits for the breakfast workers this morning. Because workers got to unite and take care of one another and give each other a love and appreciation. Good morning, Chronic Shusher. We're talking about this system. And so if you're in the Denver metro area, we have ballot issues like 2H, which is going to tax the rich in the $50 billion marketplace to help provide for the homeless, allegedly. It's a sales tax. Does it impact those who live here the most? Are there exclusions for the tax districts? We'll never know this shit. A female president could do something. And I don't really believe in supporting Confederate statues. And that's why I'm not really a supporter of Mitch McConnell. Oh, my jokes. They need a prescription. Okay. Yeah. Oh, masks. Can somebody just put the masks on the website? Thank you. I gotta tell you, I'm a little stressed about masks right now. Our mask factory is shut down at this time. We're willing to reopen it, but we're gonna have to have some customers first. We've held the space open. We've preserved it, right? If you believe in the Bible, then we were all slaves at one time. Well, I don't know if that's necessarily true, Zoom. The Mitch McConnell statue. I missed that one. But I know that now, spending money on the fence. Damn it. I hate it when I make a mess. Wooden spoon, metal tray. Brian won. Oh, getting behind in the cooking here. Getting off our ghee. Voting is consent for the less two evils, unless the evil is changing the rules and changing the game. And I'm not a big fan of changing the rules and changing the game. So the rules currently are that a woman has a right to do anything she wants with her own body within some, I guess, basic standards, right? And in Colorado, we're trying to tell women that they don't have a right to do what they want with their body. Raspberries. And that they could be told that they're not allowed to have say over their own well-being. So we're really interested in not allowing that to happen. And that's 1:15, so we're going to stop that. We've got healthcare on the ballot in the state of Colorado, a universalized system that would benefit more people. And so we want to support that. I'm a big fan of healthcare rights, because healthcare rights are human rights, right? If all lives matter, then the life of the human being is not a breeding station. It's his mother. And mother versus breeding station means different things. So that tells me that we probably want to consider that healthcare healthcare is a human right. The poor, the indigenous, the people of color need to have healthcare rights just like the rich, those who can pay for it, right? If your mask is single use, everyone needs more. Sean Shepard, that's exactly Cut the Plastics mentality, right? I'm eating raspberries that would have been thrown away, government cheese, because the waste is real. And it's consistent. You can survive on the waste of a society. We weren't designed this infrastructure. We didn't design it to be sustainable. We designed the infrastructure to waste. And that's the sad truth of it. That's the problem of it. This throwaway pan is more desirable because its perception is that I don't have to be accountable when it's done. But I do have to be accountable. I have space and time in which my waste will be around if another generation comes of aliens to investigate our planet. They'll know us by our waste when we, the humans, are gone. Right? This is the reality of my world today. This also is the reality of my world today. Oh my goodness. It just feels good to do good things, people. Yeah, Yeah, Trump. I'm not a big fan of the anger that he abides by, what he commands into his presence. I'm not a fan of the hate. Lately, I've been struggling with the hate of like the residual. You protested in anger. Now what do we do? But I've always known that there was more. It's kind of cathartic to get rid of the anger this summer. To tell you the truth, it felt good to yell in madness, in anger. It felt good to be so mad. And now I'm glad, 'cause I'm not mad anymore. So, who are we protecting in this process is the question that I keep coming back to over and over and over again. Who do we protect? Who do we serve? Are we serving a God of our own understandings? Are we serving humans as better humans, creating a world where just because a raspberry has a little spot of mold on it doesn't mean that the raspberry is bad. It might have been spoiled. It might have been crushed. It might not have had all the care given to it in the world. But when it's allowed to serve its purpose, and we look at the beauty of it within, it provides juiciness in life. All humans have a chance to provide us a little juiciness if we take care of one another, if we build each other up. I've been struggling with that this week, caring for myself, caring for others. I've been in here a little bit too much. Whoop. Those are getting toasty. Oh no. Those got a little toastier than the others. Herein lies. One hot gal, you're a Republican, you support Trump, and you went to a Christian protest a couple of weeks ago for Trump to open the churches. I didn't know the churches were closed. I didn't think that was possible. But I did not. I guess that's what separates me from the rest of the kids, huh? Is that I can have an even playing field most days. So I don't think Trump is a Christian. Or maybe he is, but I don't really profess that as something that I recognize Trump and Christianity going together hand in hand in a marriage that is earnest. And maybe it's because I look at my own walk lately and I wonder if I'm as balanced in my relationship with the God of my understanding. And if I've gotten unbalanced over the summer, even though I've grown, even though I've found more, of course, questioning that balance makes sense that there is Christ or sense of spiritual groundedness because we're questioning, right? So, Mike Stevens, I don't think that God voted for Trump because I don't think that God votes. I think that God clearly said, give to Caesar what is Caesar's and give what is to God unto God's. And that is a separation of church and state. And so even in the times past long gone, if you are an ardent follower of the Bible, then you would say that Christ's own words would separate Trump from Christ. Ooh. Interesting that we should get into the semantics of faith this fine morning. Because we all have free will. So Brian believes that our free will gives us something that others don't have, right? Choices. Blessed are the children. They don't understand what their decisions, their will can lead to. They just keep the peace. They're just innocents at the heart of it. But your church probably wasn't really closed. They probably still had services online. They probably still, the pastor probably still came to the house and visited people. Livitz, hey, you have a great day. You coming over, hanging out with us tonight? Jesus was a socialist. Yeah, I think that's probably true. It's weird, but I think that's probably true. Look at that. Isn't that just, somebody's going to enjoy that this morning. I'm going to tell you that. Like, I'm excited. The workers are going to unite today. They're going to have some breakfast. I think they're excited about that. They don't even know it yet. I just got a great feeling to know that I'm alive. That even though I feel like maybe this rambling in my mind and my mouth are not going to make sense to half of you, that that yes, our planet is our church. My chapel is the 16th Street Mall today. What? That's where I'm going to go serve the God of my understanding by letting people wash their hands, feed their stomachs, nourish their minds through community and spacing, where they're not pushed around, where they're not shoved around, where they're not treated as if they're somebody's less than. I'm tired of less thans. So that's where I am this morning. Cooking 3 dozen eggs for an hour and a half. There's too much to keep up with. There's so much going on. I am a good rambler. Thank you, Brian Johnson. Genesis 2:16. This is our garden to take care of. Right? He created all the plants, all the creatures on this spaceship. And when I went to Seventh-day Adventist Church 3 years ago in Samoa, in Fiji, on the islands, they teach how this planet is just one of multiple, about how the size of our galaxy is minute in scope to the galaxy of galaxies. And so cooties or no cooties, those Jews who hung around Jesus, they mostly did that outside, didn't they? They mostly, yeah. They recognize a bigger world. Catholics have said they would baptize aliens. Catholics have said they would baptize aliens. The Seventh-day Adventists recognize that there are galaxies that would consume our galaxy as if we were atoms inside this planet. The reptilians are trying to control the surface dwellers. That's what I'm not sure about. Because I don't even think that the surface dwellers have full control over themselves. That's the problem today. Keep the biscuits warm, my friends. Didn't that look yummy? So, right now in Denver, there's a crew of people watering and cleaning up the trash. It's 9 o'clock, which means that the Dahlia apartments are getting their groceries. And it means that I need to walk out the door soon and go provide this food so that others might eat. So I got just a couple more eggs to fry up here, and then I'm going to cut the feed. We'll ask you to all come to Janet's kitchen this morning. How many dozens of eggs do I have in my fridge? Oh, do you want to see my weed? Zoom. We got a quick second. We can do that now. Gotta say hi to the ladies. It's just this tiny one. I started this in July. Planted both of these. Just a couple of little girls hanging out in the backyard. They smell delicious. The earth is round and flat. Aren't they beautiful? Yeah, hello ladies, that's right. Just a couple of tiny ones. It started late in the summer. Because they were not my first priority once I moved in. They were near last. We'll probably get a half ounce out of that. Maybe in total. Not a big score, not a big haul. secret to cooking in my kitchen is to remember that everything's on an angle. Four eggs. So, are we done meditating? Are we done? No, we're not. Done pontificating for sure. I gotta get the cheese out, and then we gotta get the eggs out. We gotta cook and clean and get out, because we gotta go feed some people today. So I think I'm done pontificating this morning. I know I haven't done breakfast in the kitchen with Brian. I know, but there's no males around. I killed them already. Brian Johnson, I saw you had a box. Oh, Citizen Z. I'm super touched. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, we're going to finish cooking breakfast here. Then we're going to go out and feed people, huh? I've got 4 biscuits left and 3 eggs in the fryer. So that should prove beneficial. I have 4 eggs left in the fryer. Is that what I said? Sweet Lori. We're not casting stones today, and this is the message. An EMP device for Jesus. Oh my God, you people are all killing me this morning. I have prophesized in the streets of New Orleans, spread the word, spoken of a world. No, not prophesized. I've preached. There's a difference in prophesying, calling the future, and preaching. But I wonder if my preaching is prophecy in some circumstances. Because what happens? We talk about how the future is changing around us within our own eyesight. 8 years ago, I knew where to get water in the city of Denver. Now it's a good question. True story. One more egg, and then I'm done. One more egg, and then we're done. Since this one's going to be mine, I'm going to go big. Thank the maker for the food bank, by the way. You had to lay off the box. You kept forgetting your conversations. Citizen C, thank you. Seriously. Brian, we're just going down to the 16th Street Mall to serve breakfast at 9:30. You could bring your box down and scare the shit out of people. It would be funny. Potentially. Allegedly. Maybe. One more night. I'm gonna pontificate. Praise God from whom all blessings flow. Praise him, all creatures here below. Sweet Lori. Wild West Weed and Seed. .com. That's it. Trump loves bad cops. Bad cop, bad cop. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when there's no donut for you? Don't forget to tickle the thumbs up, hit that like, hit that share. Go out and feed somebody today. A relationship, human beings being kind to one another. I'm struggling with that. Being in a relationship. Believe it or not, I confess my difficulties. HP 111, good morning. Thank you all for being here. McLove, Repent America, Barbara Downey. I can't read up the feed lines, so yeah, we just spent an hour and a half cooking breakfast. I'm done. Last biscuits getting cheese and egg. I gotta miss Molly. We all lived in the same biosphere together. Yes, we do. That biosphere is called planet Earth. There is just one, no justice. Yeah, just one planet Earth. Spaceship A, on which we all leave upon. So thank you all. The last egg's cooking. I gotta finish getting ready. 15 minutes to get out the door or less. We'll see you downtown. Go find Janet Madsen. We'll see her stream at the feed tonight, and we'll catch you all later. Thanks. Thank you all that fall shall fall again. All that fall shall rise again. Thank you, Barbara. Everybody, you've just been eating, or you'd be hungry. That's right. Leaders, talk to y'all later.